Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of T Forbes TV. It's Tuesday, November 22nd, and today I gotta keep it short. After looking around on Friday's video for the top 25 jokes I'd never heard before, I couldn't help remembering some jokes that had had an effect on me. They've caused or been involved in events that have, been kind of memorable. This first one I don't actually remember myself, but I've heard the story so many times, I'm pretty sure I can imagine it now pretty clearly. So my parents were home one day. There was one of the few days they were home together. Their days off didn't often coincide. So they're relaxing at home, I'm at school, and all of a sudden they get this phone call. I don't know if it was the principal or a secretary or something, but they're calling and they asked my parents to please come down. So my parents are pretty worried. They're kind of paranoid people. Paranoid that something's happened to me, not paranoid in the sense that there's conspiracies or anything. But anyway, they asked the person on the phone if something's happened to me. Now, I don't know if these are the exact words, but for the sake of the story, they are. After they ask all these questions, the person on the other end goes completely silent and says, "There's been an incident." An incident? Who talks like that? It's just inviting all kinds of terrible scenarios to go through my parents' head. Anyway, so they get in the car, they drive to school, they go inside, they go in the office. I'm in there. I'm sitting down in one of the chairs across from my principal. My head's down. I look like I'm gonna cry. I've obviously been in trouble. My parents kind of notice, one, he's not dead. Two, he's not covered in blood, so there's a good chance he's not hurt. So they stop worried that something's happened to me, and they start bracing themselves for the news that I've done something terrible. Until this, I should point out I was the model child. I never got in trouble, I never argued, I never questioned them when they told me to eat my vegetables. I always went to bed on time. I was like the perfect kid. So apparently they sit in the office with the principal for like 2 minutes and nobody says a word until eventually my mom just kind of goes, "So, what happened?" And my principal says, "Miss something or other. I can't remember my first grade teacher's name. Whatever." So the principal tells my parents that this teacher called her down and sent me to the office because I'd been telling inappropriate jokes to the students in my class. So my parents look at each other and they say, "Well, what did he say?" My principal looks at me and says, "Tyler, I think you should tell them." So I look up in my, sad little first grade face. I'm upset. I've been getting in trouble from the principal and now my parents have been called in. I say, "How do you make a Kleenex dance? Add a little boogie." And you know what happened? My parents both burst out laughing. I think they took me out for ice cream or something. Either way, I don't think I'll ever forget that joke. Not because it was particularly funny or anything, just because it really showed me I got cool parents. The other joke I at least remember firsthand, and actually it's more like two jokes, but it'll make sense in a minute. So a few years back, my mom got tickets to sit in the audience of this Canadian sketch comedy TV show called Comedy Inc. I think we got like 12 tickets, so there were a bunch of us. Between sketches, there's this guy who's kind of like a host who tells us jokes and basically keeps us entertained so that we're in a good mood to laugh when the sketches are on so that they get something good for the laugh track. One of the ways he did this was with giveaways. So when we're on a break, like he'd ask questions and whoever answered the question right first would get some kind of prize. Well, during one of the larger breaks, he actually had a joke competition. So whoever could tell a joke and get the most members of the audience laughing would get 2 tickets to a musical. We Will Rock You was playing at the time in Toronto, and it was for that. So at the time, I thought I was the funniest person in the world, so I volunteered, and so did these 2 other, adult guys. So it's me and these 2 other guys standing in front of this whole audience. So one of these guys went first, and he got a couple laughs. I don't remember the joke, so it couldn't have been that good. But, it was fine. Go him. Good job. He went first. That's hard. I know. I've had to do presentations first. It's scary. Sorry, I went way off track with that. So after him, it was me, and I go and I'm standing in front of this crowd of 50, 60 people, and I say, "There are 2 muffins in an oven." One muffin says, "Holy crap, it's getting hot in here." And the other muffin turns to him and goes, "Holy crap, a talking muffin." I got a pretty decent amount of laughs. Not bragging or anything. Then again, they might have just been laughing to be polite to the 13-year-old kid standing up front with 40-year-old men. Anyway, the third guy gets up and he asks the audience, "What 2 things in the air can get a woman pregnant?" And everyone goes quiet and they're thinking, they're pondering. And all of a sudden, my mom, who's sitting in the front row, gets really enthusiastic and stands up and shouts, "Her legs!" And everybody starts laughing. Then the host turns to the audience and says, "Guess who's a skank?" And they start laughing louder. And I turn to him and say, "Guess who's my mom?" And that's how me and my mom got 2 free tickets to We Will Rock You in Toronto. When I hear these jokes, I can't stop thinking about how lucky I am. Lucky to have parents that are as amazing as mine with such great senses of humor and the ability to laugh at themselves. Anyway, that's everything for today, so I'll see you all next time. By the way, what did you guys think of the intro? It's a work in progress, so give me your thoughts down in comments below.